So you're scratching that entrepreneurial itch and you want to launch your first company. This is the foundations of what you need to open up your bank account so you can start raking in those dollars. And the most important thing we're going to talk about this is how you're going to set up and register in your state, how you're going to get your tax ID. My name is Alfaro. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've launched multiple businesses over the last 20 years in multiple segments, from gyms to technology to now in the consumer packaged goods space, helping brands and creators launch innovative functional foods. And I hope that this video can bring you the value and everything that you need. So let's dive in. First thing you want to do is go to Google and sunbiz.org. You're gonna see divisions of corporations and make sure you're on the .gov site. You don't wanna go to any phony registration. Then go into start a business and limited liability company, or whatever classification you are going to register as, whether it's a partnership, an LLC, an S Corp, a C Corp. If you don't know, I'll have another video that I'll post soon where you're able to go in and figure out how to figure out what type of company you actually need to run based on what you're trying to do. So in this step, now you're gonna see here where it says file or correct Florida LLC Articles of Organization. We're located in Florida, so I'm using Florida as the test pilot. Click on that and it's gonna say, you have two options. Do you wanna correct or do you wanna file new? So you're gonna file Articles of Organization. Click and start new filing. In here, it's gonna ask you information about your company. It's gonna say your principal place of business, your mailing address, your registered agent, which can be you. Fill all of the questions out. Then you're going to file. You're gonna continue and it's gonna take you through the process of setting up your business. Once you get through this, you're gonna actually be able to have a registered name. But before you go and do this, how do you actually make sure that your filing goes through? So let's take one step back and go to search for what has been taken. So here I wanna go search records. And in search records, you're gonna search by name. So in the name here, you're gonna put entity name. Let's say the name of your company is Super Cosmetics. You're gonna see a list of all companies that start with super and are close to the name in which you're trying to actually secure. Let's say you found Super Cosmetics. The next thing you're gonna do is on the status of that business, it's gonna say either an INACT or it's gonna say ACT, which is an active or inactive business registration. If there is an inactive business registration and you apply for that inactive business, there is going to be a back and forth because there's already a registration that has been set on file and there's going to be some documentation you need to exchange in order to take over that name. So it's best that you find a name or you add a component to the name that will be, in this case, Super Cosmetics. I can register it. I won't have any backlash. I won't have any problems, and I will be able to have my LLC name secured. After you've done that, you can go and fill out that form, register your business. Next step is get your EIN. Most people get stuck here. It's not that complicated. You can actually get your EIN online without waiting any time whatsoever. As long as you've got your first LLC registered or you receive the registration is actually approved, then you move on to your EIN. So here you're gonna put register EIN. And you're gonna see a bunch of like sponsored things like USA, Tax ID, SS4, EIN. Do not select any of those sponsored websites, as those are gonna be third parties that will be charging you a fee to go and register on your behalf. You can go direct to the government and actually get your tax ID without having to pay any additional fees. So you're gonna find the one that says irs.gov, no sponsored, top of the Google list. So here, once you click that, you're gonna go down and you're gonna see apply online where you submit your application. And when you apply online, so in this scenario, let's say we registered as an LLC. So I'm gonna select LLC. Then you go into your next step. It's gonna say what it is, what it's not, and you continue. Here, please select your state or territory and where you're acting. So I'm gonna select Florida. How many members are in your LLC? So if your LLC or your company is gonna have more than one person, so say it's you and a partner launching, it's what's called a multi-member LLC, which you're gonna have to file an addendum to that, but it'll show you here as well how to do that. So say it's gonna be just one person for now. You continue. You have a single member LLC, so it tells you there, you'll be initially classified as a disregarded entity for your federal tax ID number. And so if you wish to accept the default classification, do this. If you don't, do this, right? So it's giving you the next steps on what forms you gotta fill out. Single member LLCs may not file as a partnership return. This is when you start getting into like the whole tax liability and all that, which we can cover in another video. This is just how do you get your tax ID. So continue. In this scenario here, it's gonna say, why is the LLC requesting an EIN? Well, you wanna start a new business. Continue. You're gonna enter your first name, your last name, your middle initial, your social security number. Yes, it's gonna ask you for your social security number, which is why I really don't like going through a third party. Go direct and actually input it here on the IRS's website. So now I went ahead, I actually put my social because it wasn't gonna let me get to the next phase, and I wanted to show you how to make sure that you actually get this, because there is a step at the end that if you don't do, you will not get your EIN now, and it will become a complicated process to receive it. So go ahead and actually enter your information, and on to the next. I'm gonna have that all blurred out. Now you're gonna set up your legal name of your LLC. So here's where you're gonna go in and you're gonna enter the name that you registered with Sunbiz. So in this case, we're gonna put Super Cosmetics. And then if you have a DBA, maybe you're Super C's. And that's kind of like how you wanna be known in the industry as a DBA or doing business as. Then state or territory in which you're filing. Select the start date of when you started your company. So this here is gonna be when did you register and actually receive that your company started. Say that it was January of 24. Boom, put that there, continue. Now it's gonna say, here's some information that can disqualify you. So make sure you select this properly. Does your business own a highway motor vehicle with tax gross weight? Yes or no? In this case, no. Does your business involve gambling? No. Does your business need to file a 720, a quarterly federal excise tax return? No. Does your business sell or manufacture alcohol, tobacco, or firearms? If you do, you gotta put yes, but let's just say Super Cosmetics does not do that. We're gonna say no. And then do you have or do you expect to have any employees who will receive forms of W-2 in the next 12 months? That is probably something you want to do after the fact, but honestly, if you're just setting up your company right now, there's a very large chance that you're not going to go right off the gate and set up some W-2. So let's just put no there. We're going to continue on. Here you're going to talk about what does this business do, right? So in this scenario, this is potentially a healthcare, retail, internet sales. So let's go ahead and select retail, continue, and then it's going to give you some options, okay? In retail, or the selection of what your business is, do you sell goods exclusively over the internet? Do you have a storefront? Or is it a direct sales in a form of a catalog, mail order, or other form? Let's say Super Cosmetics is a direct-to-consumer site that is built on Shopify and has an e-commerce store. We're gonna say we sell it exclusively over the internet. Just setting up like how are you taxed from a company perspective. Select sell goods online. And so here is the critical step, guys. Once you've filed all that stuff, you are now gonna say, how would you like to receive your EIN, your tax ID confirmation letter? You definitely want to select receive the letter online, which is going to allow you to receive it in that moment. And you have to save that PDF document because the bank is going to ask you for that PDF document. Your tax accountant is going to ask for that document. There's going to be suppliers or other individuals that are going to need to see that document as you try to get terms on your product-based business or CPG brand. So definitely secure it in a safe place and make sure you know exactly where it is. Now that you have your EIN, your tax ID number, and you've registered your company, you can take those papers, walk to your local bank or whichever bank you want to set up and open up your bank account, which is then going to give you the abilities to have the foundations all set up. So guys, it took us less than 10 minutes pretty much to walk you through how to actually get your registration of your business in your state and then how to get your tax ID number. So now with those two things, you can walk to your local bank and get a bank account where you're able to start collecting money and driving sales, which is why this is all about. But guys, my newsletter is where all of this content just keeps flowing. So sign up, click the link below, join this newsletter and get all the tips and tricks that you're gonna need along your journey. And I hope that I can add extreme value in your life, not just in business, but in how to find your why in everything that you do.